Hi everyone, welcome to the Science Golf Performance. I'm Alex, and I want to talk about a blog that I put out on our website a few weeks ago. It's all based on the topic of autoregulation. This may be a new topic for a lot of you, but I wanted to touch on it because of the times we're in now where gyms are reopening, people are getting back into the gym, and if you've been doing a home workout with just your body weight, dumbbells, things at home for a while, and you're looking forward to getting back under the barbell, this is something that you potentially use to do that safely. So what is autoregulation? Autoregulation is a reps and reserve tactic to use for perceived exertion when going into training and picking training loads. So kind of going deeper into that, it is not going off a percentage based off of a max that you previously may have hit, but it's more listening to your body, seeing what you could do on the day. Since we go into the gym and feel different day to day, this is a way to kind of auto-regulate how we're feeling to choose the lifts for that day and get stronger in the process. So, brief history lesson, this auto-regulation isn't new. It goes back to the 40s and the 50s where they used it in a clinical setting. A lot of physical therapists use it while trying to build strength for their clients or their patients. So it's not completely new. The first time we see it in a sports science setting is more in 2010, where they tested out NCAA football players using a reps and reserve method or autoregulation versus a percentage-based method. And what they found is actually that the team using the autoregulation actually put on more strength than the team using the percentage-based. So we do see that it can work. And while there are holes, it could be very useful for you getting back to the gym. So in the blog that I posted, again, if you're that person who's been doing home workouts and then you're going back to under the barbell in the gym, you may not want to be that person that goes off of those old percentages that you may have been using. So say you could squat 100 pounds. That was 5 months ago, and that was your 3-rep max. And you go back into the gym, you're like, I'm going to work off of my 60% or 70% of my max. That may feel a little heavy since you haven't felt that heavy load in 3 to 5 months, let's say. So we want to go about this in a smart way where you're not going to overshoot or fatigue yourself or get injured in the process. So what I pointed out in my blog is that you could, instead of using that 60%, or rather that old 60%, you could use more of an RPE system. So instead of using the percentages, I say you use an RPE 8, which let's say an RPE 10 would be max. So this is totally objective. Max would mean to failure. You couldn't do one more rep. You would fail if you did another rep. So an RPE 8 would mean that you would keep 2 more in the tank per se. Now, this is a skill, and if you've ever used it, or if you've never used it, then it might be hard to gear what that actually is. If you've never used the RPE, you may overshoot by 1 or undershoot. And most of the literature actually suggests that we tend to overshoot more than we undershoot if you're new to the RPE system. So going into it, getting started, you may want to shoot for that RPE 7, 8, and work up to that weight that you think that you could do, or that feels like you could do about 3 more, right? RPE 7 out of 10, I could do 3 more reps. RPE 8 out of 10, I could do 2 more. RPE 9 out of 10, I could do 1 more. And 10 being, that's a max, I cannot do 1 more. I would fail if I did another. So this may be, again, a better way to go about training, getting back in the gym. So when you get back in the gym under the barbell, you don't have a set number that you're not going to be disappointed if you can't hit it. Because again, you haven't been touching those heavy weights for a while. We more want to kind of ease back into training, leave a few in the tank, get technique back on track, and not overexert ourselves too fast. Now, while the goal is to get stronger and you need to progressively overload, we still want to take the first maybe 1 to 3 weeks to get, comfortable again under the barbell. So I do suggest getting back in there using an RPE system, working to that 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, rather than using 70% or 80% of your last max. So this would be, again, one of the ways you can go back into your training if you're getting into the gym. and you haven't been in a while, there's lots of research on how this is, in ways, can be highly effective in you putting on strength and power as well. So there's a lot of research out there, and if you want to read more about it, we're going to put the link to the blog that I wrote a few weeks ago. There's some more research that I linked in there that supports this. And if you have any questions, please reach out to us. All right, if you enjoyed this topic, you want to learn more about it, give us a like, subscribe, and we'll talk to you soon.